Yo, yo. Business is YouTube. This Clarence over here at Pursuit of Freedom. Looking at my second trade for the week, and I am on a red streak. Starting out this year, I had one green trade that was super small, basically nothing. Then I got two red trades, 59 being my biggest loss so far. But this week, I'm negative 100, probably about 105 to get to the real numbers. Nothing that I'm too worried about though, just being honest. I mean, I done got that back in a trade or two. You know what I'm saying? Down here in small land though, it's kind of important to make good trades, to have some good trades in. Especially with I'm using one trade and then I'm letting these same funds settle, not throwing anything else in here, just gonna build from down here at the bottom. No leverage, no Natania, just trying to find good stock to trade. So I got in this UPL, this ultra petroleum core, energy sector, oil and gas. It had gapped up, so we had some news. I forgot to pull up the news, so we can pull it up. Now, the news didn't look all that spectacular to me to begin with, because I did read the news before I got in. So I pulled that up. I'll go in with that for a quick second. So this here is Inglewood, Colorado on the 17th. So that was actually the day before. Ultra Petroleum Corp announces that earlier today, U.S. Court of Appeals, Fifth Circuit delivered a favorable opinion in the appeal proceeding by Ultra Petroleum about the make-whole claims that had been asserted against the company. So the victory for Ultra Petroleum, a bankruptcy court decision that had required the company to pay approximately $400 million to various creditors following the company's emergence from Chapter 11 proceedings. Now, that news ain't like a contract, it wasn't something that was really strong. So I probably shouldn't have took this trade to begin with, but you live and you learn. You take chances, you take risks. To me, risking nothing is always worse, because you're gonna risk your entire life chasing the dollar, punching a 9 to 5. So I'm gonna slide that back over. Let's go big. I got my minute chart to the left, daily chart to the right. This is TC 2000. I didn't make many trades for the week, so I'm gonna do my little trade recap. All of these was actually in one day. That's just 8 trades, all for a total of like $645. But right out the gates, this thing had pulled back a little bit. I got in this next candle, so I'm in immediately early when I seen some strength pushing up. It got up to like a $1.10, and that was the higher day for me. So in this next candle, I'm in at 110 on the pullback, and then it punched up. Punched up to like 114. I'm up darn near nothing in this trade so far. So I end up getting out. I mean, I'm not getting out, but I end up hanging in there, and that's all that it had. I'm in at a 110. Oh, hold up. I ain't showed it to you. I think I did. All right, yeah, so $59 in the negative. Me in at 110. Hey, if I'm looking to gain 10, 20, 40 cents on my shares, I'm only trying to risk like 10 cents most of the time. A stop pull against me for 10 cents, and I got to go and push the sell button. It's protecting capital. I take a $59 loss, being that 9 of it is commissions. You hear me? So that's 50 bones. That makes me down 105 for this week, and this is my first week trading of the year. But next week's a whole new week. You know what I'm saying? Next week's a whole new week. So I ain't too worried about that, right? So I'm going to go back big on this. So this thing here started pulling back, man. It pulled all the way back to about around where I was at. Then I immediately went to the lower day of about $1.05, and I set my stop, because wherever the low is set on the day, that's where I'm looking to stop, especially since this thing had gapped up all the way down here from like 77 cents to $1.08, and that's 40% that it was already up. Also, I got to go back in here and show you this other thing here. I'm gonna go and blow that up. There we go. Now another thing that I noticed. Now I noticed this afterwards because I wouldn't even have jumped in if I would have seen that this was the case earlier on. This here flow of 145 million on the flow, I really don't play nothing. I ain't buying no stock that's got a float that big. Not looking for something short-term gains. So when I realized that that was my mistake, and this thing here had them began to pull back, I realized that I'm in a low flow. Cause look at this here, man. I gotta put a circle on that. That's supposed to do something. That had me hyped up. Look at this volume bar down here. I can't even draw a circle. Look at that though. If I look at that's $2.7 million spent in the first minute of the day. Now I gotta delete it, right? So I always watch volume. The first minute this thing punched up seriously. You got 12 million shares, or $12 million, not 12 million shares, $12 million. Probably about 12 million shares been there hanging around a dollar. Yep, 12.7 million on the share count too. So to start right around a dollar, it punched up. So this would have been my absolute get out at 114. That was the absolute tip top. I'm thinking the stock had more than that in it. It had some sort of positive news. It jumped up on my scanners because it's up. Well, not my scanners. I ain't really looking at scanners, but it jumped up to the top of my list, and it's still near the top of my list with only 29%. I see I got a stock that's has zero volume, but it did 1,000%. I mean that's crazy. Then you got a stock over here. This is the daily chart. That's disgusting. I wouldn't even mess with it anyway. So some of this stuff be garbage right here at the top. This was another stock that was getting beat up pretty bad that ended up pushing higher. But yeah, so this still, I click on it. It's the number 6 stock of the day out of 2,234 is still. But I ended up taking a loss on it. This thing started pulling back on me at about where I bought at. I set my first stop at the lower day of 105, but I said, okay, maybe I need to give it a little more wiggle room. I should have got out at 105 though, to tell you the truth. And this thing pulled back. Really, I should have got it out up here. But hindsight is 2020. I didn't know that that's all the stock was going to give me once I got in. So this thing pulled all the way back, went down here to 96, and look at all my moving averages. It's below the VWAP, below the 4, below this here 9, below the 13. So it's below all of my short-term moving averages. All of these moving averages, I look at them for exit strategies. If the stock is going from above to beneath, and this thing just hasn't looked good. The entire day, it kind of played with the VWAP, pushing up, the VWAP holding as resistance. It never really surged back above it strong until 1 p.m. And it still only got up to like 108, where it opened at on the day. Got back beneath the VWAP, and this thing has fell down. So it gapped up, and it took a crap. And I went ahead and got out. I'm out at 99. That's fine with me because I didn't hang around. When I look at these gappers, they scare the crap out of me. And I'll show you why right quick because I already see an example. Example of why. Looking at this day right here, this pin bar, the stock dropped all the way down to this low price and it got bought back up. The next day it gapped way up because you got a red candle up here. So it means it opened at the top and this thing sold all the way off beneath where the whole candle had opened and closed at on the day prior. So sometimes these things gap up and then they just do nothing but sell, 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 sell. I mean, the day before it closed at 83 cents, whatever this time frame is. But this thing gapped up and then it just sold all the way back down. And then the next day it sold down well beneath even this here low selling point that got bought back up. So when these things gap up, man, I'm not really finna give them too much wiggle room because you're giving them wiggle room with your money on the line at the same time. And these things can push way back down to where they were the day prior. And that's only a 30% sell off. And I've seen that in the day. And this is the low float. Look at this here, this candle. Way more buying pressure today than selling from what it's saying. And this thing still sold off. So hey, I'm out. I'm out $59 as well, but it is what it is. This is Pursuit of Freedom.